Hello and welcome to Athens City Council. Today is Monday, June 15th. We are in regular session tonight, but we will have a Finance and Personnel Committee meeting prior to that. We will begin with that. Finance and Personnel Committee is made up of Member Wood, Member Stazer, myself, and Member Clodfelder. I'm going to just have everyone else stay at the dais tonight so we can get through these few things before we move on to regular session. All right. First up we have on this, I've sent all this information out, but we have the NOPEC Energized Community Grant has come in. The city has received $7,121 in grant funds. This happens every year. In order for us to accept the funds formally, we do have to pass an ordinance to accept these monies. I've sent forward the different programs in the past that the mayor has chosen to use these funds for, and he, as I said in the email, he's not finalized this year, but he's leaning towards the HVAC project at APR. So on this one, do we have any additional comments from the administration? Auditor's office, treasurer, and anything from the public? And do we have any additional questions from members of Member Clodfelder?
Not a question. I just can't imagine why we would turn down this money.
Agree. Do we have any other questions from members of the Finance Committee? Okay. Is everyone fine with this moving forward?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. The next item on our agenda tonight is adjusting code language in Title 17 Municipal Income Tax. This is just amending the rate and allocation of funds as spelled out in our tax code for the newly passed income tax. This will begin January 1, 2027, and it's just basically a housekeeping thing that we just need to get done. So any additional details from the administration, auditor's office, and any questions from the public? And do we have any additional questions from members of the committee? Unless there's objections, we'll move this forward to tonight's meeting. The third item is an appropriation. I would like to move to, when we get to the first reading and appropriation, to amend this, but this is moving $50 to the parking garage fund refund line to cover refunds for this year. There was none allocated to that line this year, and we have a $6 refund. So we're just putting a little in there so we're ready to go for any future needs. Any additional details from the administration?
I mean, transaction class 600, is a separate transaction class that requires transfer by legislation if we're not permitted to transfer from other funds without legislation. So even though it's a small amount, that's why it's before you.
Thank you for the clarification. Anything from the auditor's office? And do we have any questions from the public? Any additional questions or comments from members of the committee? Okay. Unless there's any objections, we'll move this forward tonight. And I do need to add one more item to the committee that I sent out. There is another then and now that we'll need to approve tonight. We can amend it on the existing then and now. It is for $7,200 to the LEADS system for the Athens Police Department. Any additional comments on that from member or from the administration, auditor's office? And any questions from the public? And do we have any additional questions from members? Yes.
Could you explain what that will be for, the LEADS program?
Yes, let me pull that up. It is the Law Enforcement Automated Data System, is what I know the acronym to stand for. What that does is going to be not something.
When you get pulled over and the police have probable cause, they run your license plate and your driver's license number, and there's a database, and that database is what they ultimately determine is your license current, is your registration current, is there a warrant for your arrest, and it's a system that has existed for a very, very long time, and there's a series of safeguards around it. We pay for it every year. The then and now certificate is just due to that same problem that we had in the beginning of the year, where it didn't have things in place, and there was a bill that was generated for the annual fee for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any additional questions from committee? And any objections to moving this forward? All right, seeing none, that ends Finance and Personnel, and we will move on to regular sessions of council. We will call to order and establish a quorum. We have 6 of 7 members of council here present. Next, we'll need to move to approve the agenda. I would first need to move to amend the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Or do you want to spell it?
I need to move to end to add the ordinances regarding the NOPEC grant and the ordinance regarding the Title 17 language. Any additional details? Any questions from the public on this? Any additional discussion from council? All those in favor of amending the agenda, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the agenda has been amended. We'll next move on to disposition of minutes. Can I have a motion to adopt or approve the minutes from council of June 1st, 2026?
So moved. Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next, we move on to communications. I do have one, but I'll see if anyone else has any others they would like to share first.
I have one.
Director. Director
To make
Eliason.
sure that I have my microphone turned on. The mayor actually received a communication that was last week on June 9th, and it was from the National Opioid Settlement Notice and Claims Administrator. It was to Athens Township, Ohio, but he received the email, and there's also a reference to Athens Township's fiscal officer. So I've been attempting to find out if it was really meant for us or if it's Athens Township, and I've had no success on that. But the deadline for applying is July 16th, and we've applied for settlement funds from many others, and it's always been by way of a 3-reading ordinance. So what I'm asking, or going to ask under other business, is just for a motion tonight to allow me to proceed with, on behalf of the mayor, or the mayor will proceed. I guess we'll say for the mayor to proceed in his application if I determine that we're the ones that it was intended for.
So moved.
Well, we'll have to do that under other business.
Okay.
So,
It's communication.
and then what we'll do is come back in August and I'll ask you to do a 3-reading ordinance just to ratify what you did tonight. May not need it. I may find out that it wasn't meant for us to begin with, but it did go to the mayor. He sent it to me, and I am unable to determine if it was really meant for us. Some of the others that we've been involved in that had 3-reading ordinances were Janssen, Kroger, Purdue Sackler, Teva, Walmart. So those have always been by 3-reading ordinances. So anyway, I'll ask for that later.
All right, do we have any other communications, members of council? Member Swank?
Yeah, we're 19 days away from celebration of the 4th of July, and you'll begin to see, Ryan, if you could please, could you put up that slide? You will begin to see these posters and sheets around campus, around the community. The schedule is accessible via a QR code, but just to give you an idea of what's going to happen. Starting off early in the morning, about 9 o'clock over on the courthouse sidewalk, there'll be some opportunities for people to do patriotic chalk drawings. We'll supply the chalk. You just need to supply the creativity. Shortly thereafter, we will have a kids' bike parade where we're encouraging children, young people, to decorate their bikes, and they will take the old parade route down from Morris Avenue up to Court Street and end up on the steps of the, not on the steps, but in front of the History Center. Following that, we're going to have a hot dog eating contest sponsored by Larry's Doghouse. We're also going to have a reading of the Declaration of Independence by a few people in historic period costume. We're going to have a community picnic on the College Green, and the community is encouraged to bring your picnic, bring your blanket, bring your chair, and we will have cake from OU Catering Services, lots of cake, and we're also going to have some entertainment. Bruce and Gay Dazell will start promptly at 4 o'clock from the portico of Mimod, followed by the Riley Baps Band, and that will run from about 4 to 6 or 6:30. And then at 7 o'clock that evening, the entertainment will shift back to Court Street to a location very, very similar to what we had this last weekend for Boogie on the Bricks. And there will be 3 bands playing at that. And no, even though I said at that previous meeting, the Eagles will not be one of those 3 bands. So we encourage the community to log on to the QR code, attend as many events as you like, but hopefully we'll get a big turnout for the 4th of July picnic on the College Green. Again, it's a bring your own picnic, share with neighbors if you'd like. And we're working on getting possibly some food trucks there too. And maybe some of the businesses that do serve food will be open that day. It is a national holiday, so it's kind of up to the discretion of those particular businesses. Thank you.
All right. Any other communications? All right. I have one I'm going to read just on behalf of President McCary, as he is in acting mayor role tonight, that he'd sent out to council earlier today. He says, as communicated to council members via email earlier today, President McCary would like to briefly recap where council is regarding the proposed amendments to council's public participation rules and share his intended next step. During the June 8 Committee of the Whole meeting, council discussed possible amendments to Rule 13, Public Speaks, and related language in Rule 27, Audience Participation. The discussion included several related issues, whether the rule should reflect council's recent practice of allowing members of the public to speak once per agenda item rather than once per regular session, whether the home address requirement should be removed or modified, how the 3-minute and 15-minute time limits should operate, and whether Rules 13 and 27 should be consolidated. During that discussion, 3 general amendment approaches emerged. Option A is a narrow amendment clarifying that citizens may speak 1 time per agenda item at each regular session of council. Option B is a similar amendment that would also include language preserving the president's authority to maintain order, decorum, and the orderly and efficient conduct of the meeting. Option C is a broader proposal submitted by Member Swank that would consolidate Rules 13 and 27 into 1 public participation rule, remove the home address requirement, retain the affiliation disclosure requirement, clarify the once per agenda item practice, and preserve the 3-minute and 15-minute time restraints. Due to meeting dynamics on June 8th, President McCary did not specifically invite public comment during that Committee of the Whole discussion. While council rules are generally internal rules of council, amendments concerning public comment directly affect how members of the public participate in regular sessions. As President McCary has previously indicated, his intent is to make an exception for rules and public comment and provide an opportunity for public comment before council proceeds to a final vote. For that reason, President McCary intends to return this item to Committee of the Whole after recess. This will allow council to present any additional options members may wish to offer, receive public input on the proposed public participation rule changes, and then determine what amendment language should move forward for formal consideration. In the meantime, council members may continue to review the options and let President McCary know if there are any additional versions or refinements they would like to make or include for discussion after recess. Unless we have other communications, we will move on to reports and communications from elected officials. From the administration?
Pro Tem Thomas, I would like to remind the Athens community that this Friday, the nation is honoring the Juneteenth holiday, and Ohio University has a committee that you can Google, just Ohio University Juneteenth celebration, and you'll find a corresponding website that lists this Friday, June 19th, as the date for the big community picnic, and that will be at the city's Richland Avenue Park on Dairy Lane from 1 to 4 p.m. on this Friday, June 19th. We encourage folks to learn about the Juneteenth holiday and come out and celebrate in community.
Anything else? All right, anything? All right. We will now move on to ordinances for 3rd reading. Ordinance 055-26, an ordinance amending Ordinance 121-25, authorizing staffing levels introduced by Finance and Personnel Committee. We discussed this in committees and previous readings. This is just a reduction in staffing due to retirements, lab technicians from 2 to 1, parking or water meter reader, and parking enforcement. I would move that we adopt ordinance 0-55-26.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? ordinance 55-26 has been adopted. Ordinance 56-26, an ordinance amending ordinance 122-25, 2026 non-union compensation authorized pay grades. As the previous ordinance, we discussed this in committee and in 2 readings. This is just removing a lab technician from pay grade 7 to pay grade 6. Any further questions or discussion? And I move we adopt 56-26.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 56-26 has been adopted. Next, we move to ordinance 57-26, an ordinance amending ordinance 117-24, a fringe benefits package for non-union personnel within the city of Athens, introduced by Finance and Personnel. This is the removal of some outdated language and also the double time pay for technician positions located in 2A in the document. I would move that we pass or we adopt 57-26.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 57-26 has been adopted. An ordinance for third reading 60-26, an ordinance authorizing the Service Safety Director to advertise and accept bids where necessary and enter into contracts for construction of West Side sidewalks 2024 CDBG Project 396, introduced by Councilmember Claude Felder.
So this ordinance has been discussed in committee. It has been read twice already, and I'm just going to read the key parts of it. The 2026 Appropriation Ordinance 120-25 is hereby amended by appropriating from the unappropriated balance the sum of $120,000 to CDBG Fund 248, Transaction Code 500, and increasing the total appropriations by said amount. The Service Safety Director is hereby authorized to expend up to $120,000 from CDBG Fund 248 on said Project 396. So this was a project to improve the west side, some of the sidewalks on the west side. It was originally scheduled for 2024, but there was so much going on with construction at that point that the money hasn't been spent yet. So Director Stone very deftly convinced the CDBG folks to let us still use the money in 2026. So sidewalks on the west side of Athens will be improved now if this ordinance gets approved. With that being said, I move that we approve ordinance 60-26.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Any opposed? All right, 60-26 has been adopted. Moving on to 61-26, an ordinance amending ordinance 31-26, authorizing the Service Safety Director to close streets in the uptown area for 2026 special events and to change requested dates or cancel the events as necessary, introduced by Member Claude Felder.
So most of the items on this ordinance have already been approved, but there was one request that came in a bit later that we want to get completed as well. So for the 4th of July celebration that's coming up on July 4th, which Member Swank was describing, there is going to be an additional street closure in addition to the one that was previously approved. So the way it reads now is 4th of July celebration, July 4th. The street closures requested are Court Street from Washington to Carpenter, Washington Street from the parking garage to Congress, and West State Street from Court to Congress. I move that we approve the amended version of this ordinance, 61-26.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 64-20 or 61-26 has been adopted. We'll now move on to ordinances for first reading. The first is ordinance 64-26, an ordinance amending the 2026 appropriation ordinance 120-25, introduced by Finance and Personnel. We discussed this in committee last week. We have 3 things in this currently. $3,500 to the general fund treasurer for a computer, $32,160 to parking garage fund to implement Park and Go module and Park Smart reservation module, $31,788.21 to sewer fund for the wastewater treatment plan to replace money transferred for the cost of a property bill. I first need to move to amend this ordinance to add in the $50 to the parking garage fund 730 718 transaction class 600.
Second.
All those in favor to amend?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. I would next move to suspend and to the rules to adopt 64-26.
Second.
Discussion on this is just to get some of these things going as we're heading into a slightly longer July break and get some things moving. Do we have any questions or discussion on this? Or any clarifications? Any additional details from the administration? Auditor's office? You would like a speedier laptop this decade? And do you have any questions from the public on this? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting 64-26.
Aye.
Thanks. Aye. I knew I'd get ahead of myself at some point. All right. I will now move to adopt 64-26.
Second.
Any opposed? No? I'm sorry. Thank you for Member Wood for the face, because as soon as I said it, I'm like, that's not right. All those in favor of adopting 64-26, signal with aye. Any opposed? 64-26 has been adopted. We will next move on to 65-26, an ordinance approving then and now certificates for payment and declaring an emergency, introduced by Member Thomas. Let me pull that up. This last week we discussed in committee. We have $14,300 for a pool pipe repair, $5,133 for Athens and Bloom Flowers to Darrell Norris Greenhouses, $6,000 for the iWork systems for work management software. And from our committee meeting today, I would ask to amend 65-26.
Second.
This is just to add the $7,200 for the leads system software. All those in favor of amending ordinance 65-26?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 65-26 has been amended. I now need to move to suspend, as we typically do with then and now certificates, ordinance 65-26.
Second.
And all those in favor of, any discussion on the suspension?
No.
No.
On the top.
All those in favor of suspending 65-26?
Aye.
Any opposed? 65-26 has been suspended. And for the last time, I would move that we adopt 65-26.
Aye. A second.
Any discussion on this? Anything from the public? All right. I would move that we adopt 65-26.
Second.
We have that in
That
a
has been
second.
seconded already.
Oh, we seconded that already. Sorry.
Ready to vote.
Ready to vote. All those in favor of adopting 65-26?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, 65-26 has been adopted. I knew those last two were going to have a lot of steps. We'll now move on to announcements and other business.
We have to note
Oh,
back
I'm
in
sorry, you're right. We need to add
17.
those two new ones.
Yes.
I knew I was cruising along too quickly. Yeah. Because I know we'll have some discussion on one. Thank you. All right, so as we previously amended the agenda, we will have ordinance 66-26, which is accepting the NOPEC grant funds. We went through the various uses, or I sent those in email. I'm sure Member Swank can give us some additional details on this, as could Director Stone. And I would like to add that this needs to be approved by the end of June. So we would have to suspend and pass tonight in order to get that done. Additional information on this from Director Stone, or anything you want to add to the NOPEC grants?
The only note that I'd have on the HVAC system at the community center is that it will cut energy costs and really make a much more efficient system. You know, so that system was put in place. We're already working on that, and this will just defray the costs some, by applying the NOPEC grant towards that. This system went in with the construction of the facility back in 2002, 2001, 2002 timeframe, and this is upgrading all the controls, so the system will be able to control it much better.
Any comments from the Auditor's Office, Treasurer? Members of Council?
This is something NOPEC does every year. NOPEC is the city's gas aggregation company, and the amount of money we receive each year is based on the number of people enrolled in the program. In the past, it's been used for other energy-related things, such as the lights at the bus stations for those who live on the Far East Side, the solar street lights, and a variety of other things. This is another one of those cases of free money, no strings attached. So, very happy to move this along this evening.
Yeah, easy enough. One of the past programs, actually, in 2024, was the voltage program, which I think still has some funds in it for if you have a gas-powered lawn equipment item and you are in need of a new one, you can contact the city, get an electric-powered one, and get some funds to go through that up to a certain amount, which is great if you've got some dying equipment or just want something a little quieter, or your neighbors want something quieter.
Yeah.
You got a comment down there?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, it's a very easy process. Go out and buy the item that you want. Take the old item down to City Garage on West Union Street. Show your receipt. They'll fill out a little form. You process it, and I traded in an old gas-powered rototiller and got a new one, and I got a check in a matter of days. It was that easy. It is that easy. So if you buy the new one, take it down to the City Garage, and they know the process very well down there for taking it and disposing of it properly.
Excellent.
Did you suspend?
I don't think we've moved it,
I
no.
thought Monica said there was a deadline.
Yeah, there's a end of June deadline, so I would ask that we suspend 66-26.
Second?
All those in favor of suspension?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And then if I would move to adopt 66-26.
Second.
And any further discussion? Right. All those in favor of adopting 66-26?
Aye.
Any opposed? 66-26 has been amended, or been adopted. Our next ordinance that we amended to add is 66-26. This is amending Title 17 Municipal Income Tax, Chapter 17.01, and it's just updating in Section 17.01.012, the effective tax on January 1, 2027 shall be levied at a rate of 2.15%. And again, under 0.013 allocation of funds, general revenue from 1.6 to 1.8. Obviously, this isn't going into effect for a while, but as we were already getting all of these ordinances done before the break, we included this one so that it's just done and we don't put it aside and forget. I would ask to suspend 67-26.
So, second.
Any discussion on this suspension? Mostly this is because there's really nothing interesting or debatable about this one, and we're just looking to get it done. All those in favor of suspending 67-26?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 67-26 has been suspended. I would next move to adopt 67-26.
Second.
Any discussion or questions on adopting 67-26? Anything from the administration? Any comments from the public? All those in favor of adopting 67-27?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 67-26 has been adopted. Now I think we finished all the actual. I knew if I didn't make a note. We'll move on next to announcements and other business. Member Swank?
In reading this 6-point type here, left off maybe the most important thing about the 4th of July celebration. There will be a special appearance by Athens' own Olympic gold medalist Gwyneth Phillips. I think she'll be handing out some things for the participants in the bike parade, perhaps the hot dog eating contest, and whatever else we can wrangle her into doing that day. But opportunity to meet a true blue, red, white, and blue American gold medalist.
Very nice. Any other announcements or other business?
Have the other business.
Oh, we have the other business.
If there are any other announcements?
You've heard council refer this evening to recess, and that is an annual tradition, but I want to acknowledge that since this is the first term for this council, appreciate your service and your time. This might end up being one of the shorter meetings compared to last week's, which was one of the longer, but we do appreciate your service and that of our colleagues in the administration and the auditor's office, our new treasurer. We appreciate all those who've been coming to our meetings and giving feedback and reporting out to other groups. And for those of you who are interested in staying engaged while council is officially on recess in July, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, to our clerk, especially if we have boards and commissions who have updates about canceled meetings or updates in membership. But we do have our council back in session in August.
Thank you.
And I guess I have an announcement.
Yeah.
The City Commission on the Environment and Sustainability wants to renew 2 members, Molly Jo Stanley and Susie Saltzman. They've both been very good members, and they would both like to continue on the Environment and Sustainability Commission. So I move that we approve them to be renewed for another term on the commission.
Can we have a second?
Point of order. Do these need to be mayoral appointments that we confirm?
It's the
renewals.
City Council Commission.
A lot of them are, but I'm saying, according to, I guess we'd have to ask the law director, what does code say about the process for appointing these people? I mean, we'd have to look
These
at it.
I believe these are council appointments.
Okay.
I think they're renewals, not new appointments.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that discussion. I think we determined that renewals did not need prior approval, just new appointments.
Well, in the past, they have, because we've had at least 2 that were not renewed in the last 3 years. Not for this particular one.
All right, so we're
So my mouse isn't working, so I can't look up code to see what it says.
I think that was for mayoral and not for council appointments, though. And these are council appointments?
Yeah.
Can somebody call this up in code, please?
Maybe.
And I have no problems with the appointments. I just want to make sure we're following the
Commission is this.
Environment and Sustainability.
the proper procedure.
It's going to take me a moment.
Yeah, I said my mouse is dead, so.
Yes, I can confirm that Section 3.07.74, Establishment of the Environmental and Sustainability Commission, indicates that these are positions appointed by the Athens City Council, of which 6 members shall be residents of the city and 3 members shall reside outside of corporate limits. But this does, the mayor's representative will serve at the pleasure of the mayor, but other than that, this seems to be entirely council's approval.
Okay, good, thank you.
Can I get the names again, or the?
Yeah, Molly Jo Stanley and Sarah, no H, Saltzman. I believe her last name is Sulzman. Sarah has been an undergraduate representative on the Environment and Sustainability Commission, and she has decided to go to grad school here at OU. Here in Athens at OU. So she wants to continue on as a community member now.
Very nice. All right, so we have a motion to approve these appointments. And do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
I have not a problem with it, but it does say appointed members will serve a term of 3 years with initial appointments of 2 appointed members serving 3 years, 2 serving 2 years, and 1 serving 1 year. Which
Those
term
were-
are we appointing?
Those were for the initial appointments.
Oh, for the initial,
For the
okay.
board,
That-
yeah, for the commission.
Just want to make sure when we appoint these, we know it, so it's for a full 3-year term.
Definitely for Molly Jo, it is 3 years. Sarah is not sure. She was gonna tell the commission whether she wanted a 1-year or a 2-year reappointment, based on how long it's gonna be to.
That's
her
not
to
an
complete her
option, is
master's
it?
degree.
That's not an option.
Yeah.
They're
What-
3-year appointments.
What Member Isherwood was reading was the initial when it was founded.
Yeah.
Those appointments, from there on out, they're 3-year
Yeah,
appointments.
the purpose of the 3-2-1 initial was that we had staggered terms. But once someone renews, it's for a 3-year appointment. Now, they do have the option in that 3-year period if they choose not to continue. That's, that's their prerogative. But yeah, the appointment would be for 3 years for both of them.
All right. All those in favor of approving these appointments? Aye. Any opposed? All right, those have been approved. And then,
Well, my other business was that I'm going to ask for a motion. I did write it out, though. But the mayor received the communication, the email from the National Opioid Settlement Notice and Claims Administrator. It was to Athens Township, but he is the mayor contact. I didn't receive anything, and I've been receiving things like this, and it also is to Athens Township. The deadline for application is July 16th, so this is just in case. I've sent 2 emails out, and I'm waiting for a response. But I would like a motion that if it's deemed that this was meant for us, because we've applied for many others, they're calling this the 6th remnant defendant settlement. But if it's determined that this was meant for us, I want to make sure that the mayor is able to, he's authorized to make that application. So again, what I would ask for is the motion, but then if it's determined that it was meant for us, then in August would be ratified, your approval would be ratified. So I did write a motion out, and I think Member Clodfelder will read it and make that motion.
Okay, so this states the mayor is authorized to apply for remnant defendants opioid settlement funds with a July 16th deadline, if determined to be appropriate, and the application will be ratified by a 3-reading ordinance in August of 2026.
So you make a motion.
So I move that we approve this statement?
The mayor's authorization to
mayor's-
make application.
Authorization to make application.
and do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Do we have any other additional announcements or other business? We'll move next to opportunity for citizens to speak on legislative items not covered on the agenda. If anyone would like to speak, they can come up to the podium and they'll have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, I would take a motion
So
for
moved.
adjourn.
Second.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. That concludes council.
Beautiful.